And welcome back. We're moving into our third segment for this morning. And we are joined today by representatives from the After School Care Summer Session After the Bell program. We are joined by Jillian Alegria and Martin Alegria. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us this morning.
All right, let's get right into it.
Sure.
So, After School Care Summer Session. First of all, for our viewers, what is After the Bell?
After the
Well, After the Bell is a session that we came up with, a center that we came up with to assist parents in to help them with their kids after school. We would take them and guide them with their homeworks, give them, whatever guidance they need. There are some kids that don't need as much, but others that we think would need help. And in this climate and this time, we just thought that it was a good idea.
Yeah. Especially after 2-3 years almost of COVID, the education level has suffered, more so the primary school sector. And so we are both retired recently, so we decided to get into something that does a few things. One, helps us out in terms of our minds being active still.
Right.
We are still 55 years young. and at the same time help society and Jillian she was in a reading program, doing reading at primary school. She loved kids. So she came up with the idea, why don't we do something like this and help the kids at the same time, keep us active.
So it's sort of like a tutoring after activities school program.
Yes,
Kinda.
where we provide guidance because like the homework is really just a repeat of what the children got in class. So it kind of gives them extra confidence if they are familiar with the things that happen. And we feel that the homework would be the basis for guiding them. Throughout the day.
I cannot stress how important it is for our young children to develop a strong foundation, particularly in literacy, if we want to be successful going forward, being able to communicate and being able to navigate life. Certainly the pandemic has impacted particularly primary school children, preschool children at that developmental stage. Speak to us about the importance of being able to access a service like this, considering that type of impact.
Sure. Well, again, with Jillian's experience that she had during her years at the reading program, she said that English or reading was one of the weaknesses of the primary school. And so with her experience, she decided, let's see if we could get something done where we help the kids. In English and maths, I think, was another sector that, you need that arithmetic, that mental arithmetic, that quick little 2 + 2 - 2 equals, that type of cementing in the minds of these young kids. Like you said, it's a foundation, especially between kinder or and standard 6. That's when it's growing the brains.
Right.
And so it's important that we concentrate on few things that will make more impacts, and reading is one, and maths or arithmetic is another. Notwithstanding, like Jillian is saying, we are planning to, if the kids that are enrolled, to also assist them with the homeworks, projects that they might have, which is the day-to-day at school. So homework gives us guidance, Jill and I, on what is being taught at the different schools that the kids will be coming from. And so we try to give more examples of those homeworks so that they become more familiar with that thematic area that the teacher or the different teachers are teaching. So it's to continue building up and trying to recover from some of the...
To reinforce what is already taught in the school.
Right.
And that's essentially what we're trying to do. And we just believe that educating the younger people, that's the foundation to a productive society. So if we start with the kids, I think it would create a better Belize. It's something that we're trying to do.
So we're talking about the summer session. that you all will be
Yeah.
hosting in a few weeks. Tell us what the activities will be like and why we should enroll our kids in this.
Sure.
Okay, well, with this summer session, we would contact each parent because we would want to know where the children, at what position they are and what's their weakness. So that is the basic thing that we would look for. But there'll always also be an element of fun where we'll do different word games and different speed arithmetic and speed mathematics. And so that it's not from 8 to 12, you cannot just focus solely on a drill for a child because you lose their attention. So we will bring in some fun and we'll have some reading and comprehension things. And I think it will be fun and it will be education in a different way, you know, education with a twist of entertainment.
Education with a twist. How long will this session be?
It starts it's really for parents. They drop their kids just before they go to work.
Okay.
So we'll be there from a little bit before 8, and then they pick them up at midday. And we believe in the morning the child's mind is most active.
And also in the afternoon they have free so that they can enjoy their summer.
Because it is summer. It's only 2 sessions we're having. The first session is 4th to the 8th of July, and the second session
Is the following week.
is the following week, the 11th to the 15th.
Yeah.
You know, I really like the approach that you're taking in terms of knowing when to engage with the child or when the child's brain is stimulated, because being in Finland for quite some time and under studying their education system, children go to school from 9 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And a lot of the activities that they do are more interactive, outdoor type activities to develop that communication skills and the soft skills that's needed. And so certainly that time is critically important, because after a certain hour, a child's brain just shuts down and the focus is completely gone. So speak to us about some of the activities that you would engage children in.
One or two of the activities I had was really patterned off game shows, and it would simply be like we'd choose a word like happy, and we'd want them to come up with other words that mean the same thing, and that would be one of our games that we would play. And it would be words that rhyme or words that, you know, there are different things like that. We'd also have like start out with just a blank state, and you have like plus 15, minus 13, and then each child gets a chance to go, and you say a number, like you'd say 5, and then you're adding 13, your subject, and who gets the correct answer at the end. I just have to wait and see, because some kids are intimidated by stuff like that.
The competition is
the
intimidating.
So we play it according to.
Yeah, it depends on the kids, children that come. You know, we'll see again. Jillian mentioned that we'll speak to their parents first, so that we know what the parent would want for that specific child. No. One might say, well, I would like more, I'll concentrate a little more on the reading aspect, the grammar. Another might say, really maths, we need him to do some maths. Others might say, just to socialize and get involved with other kids, because, he's kind of home playing too much games. And so it depends on what the specific child, that's how we will group them in the day's activities. Again, we have a lot of other type of activities that we're planning.
And like reading stories to them, and then asking questions after the stories, and
like comprehension. And then we have internet, Wi-Fi, and so on, that we can access a lot of online programs and content. Depends on, again, we might be able to separate, the older ones in a room to do specific, while the others, the majority, are in the center part where all these types of activities are on. And of course, like you mentioned, after 40 minutes or so, you need a break. So we have a little snack break, and we socialize, and then we go back at the other activity. And so by the end of 11, 12, they're all enthused and hungry, tired to go.
So you all were doing these types of tutoring sessions before, after this summer session, will you be continuing your tutoring during when kids go back to school?
You mean the reading program you're
Yes.
talking about? Well, I didn't plan on doing it. Just for the time frame, I can't really be two places at one time, so I didn't plan on continuing. You wanted me to.
If the demand is high, will
The
you?
demand is high.
Yes.
It really
The need,
is.
Yes.
We were doing, before we opened the business, we were looking around and finding on doing assessments. And like I mentioned, apart from the COVID issue, the need is there, the demand is there.
Right.
For this after school type. That's why it's named after the
Yeah.
bell.
Yeah.
Because the bell after 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of going home and, you know, to a place where you don't have that stimulation still, to be good.
And Belize is in a position where we would need just parents who have extra time like us to go and give to the schools to help with children in the reading category in particular. There are places, most primary schools have children that need that assistance. And you know, the more interest society shows in the development of a country, the better the country will go.
I absolutely agree.
But maybe to your question, you were saying after the summer session. The summer sessions, the 2 weeks, is to introduce the center.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, they know what we are doing, what the results of the 2 summer sessions will, you know, enthuse the parents to spread the word, and so that come August, hopefully, then we have the long-term part of it, where depends on the needs of the parents. You might only want your child to be there from, let's say, 2 to 4, or 3 to 5, or only 1 hour because they are doing karate or some other activity. They drop them for 1 hour. And so we are flexible enough to cater for those parents and those children that would want specific attention or issue to deal with, and including perhaps reading or grammar or English, as we call it, and maths and so on. But the center, we are planning to continue it very much after August, or starting August with the new school year. We had planned different sessions and so on because of the COVID situation, but it seems now that August will open as per in the past, where children go from 8 to about 2 or 3, depends on their level, and then after, in the afternoon is when they are out. But again, you're mentioning after 2 hours, kids get fatigued, especially being at school. So that flexibility in what each kid would want, we are flexible enough to continue that after this summer session starting in August, hopefully.
So how can parents get a hold of you, and how much is the session?
The summer session is 125, you could say, for the week, 5 days.
125 a week.
Okay.
And then during the school year, if your child is there from 2 to 3 hours, because some children finish at 3 and then the parent doesn't come until about 6, 2 to 3 hours, that is $20 per day. And beyond that, like some schools are over from 1:32 and the child stays there until about 6, that's $30. The weekly, if the child is enrolled with us permanently from Monday to Friday, that's $125 a week.
It's a discount, like
And it's $125 a week or $500 a month.
if it's on a monthly, if it's something that you need, you acknowledge as a parent that your child need, you know, that help for a month, 2 months, depends, no? It's up to you how, and the financial situation that you have to. But we will be there with flexible times and programs.
Do they have to call in and schedule the time if they're going to be doing that for like a weekly or a monthly basis, or how do you schedule your their children in?
We will be, once they start the discussion, once they call us, our phone numbers are on the flyers that we have, but we could give our emails. So we work on arrange those with the specific parent. No?
We have an enrollment form, and then we give them
Those
that
questions.
option. You know, the questions are there.
Questions are there,
and
which-
you tell us exactly whether you want them to come all week, once a week,
Yeah.
whether you want it to be flexible and we speak to you on a daily basis, or if you need us to pick them up from somewhere or take them to some extracurricular activity before they come to The form caters for that.
The form has that we could pick them up from school, for example, if you want us to do that, and carry him or her to the center.
So you're just you're giving them all the options.
Yeah.
Pick them up, drop them off, giving them the support that they need, giving them the resources that they need. So
It's a package
It's a
type
package
of-
deal.
Yeah.
And that will become even more important when the school year really begins in August, when parents are more into the.
In terms of the numbers that you could take on, what's the capacity?
We are not planning to exceed 15, and right now we're looking at 10, 5.
If for the
both,
summer
yes.
or
So it's not,
And even
it's not a
August.
whole lot.
Because
you
we need
know.
to give each kid the attention he or she
Right,
deserves. So
right.
I think I could manage 4 or 5 kids and equally so to give that attention. So beyond 10 will be kind of
Yeah, we're not going to
Unless
give them
we-
the quality that we want.
Yeah,
you know.
that
We
we
want
want.
the children to really see it like a second home with that care and at the same time the guidance that they need for the homework. And we think we could make a difference.
So right now we're thinking about a little 8 to 10 kids that we give that real personalized attention.
And where can they find you?
We are located, the center is located on University Heights. It's a new building, a wooden structure we set up there behind Healthcare Partners, I think it's called.
It's
That
a
new
little-
residential area.
Okay.
Yeah, behind there. That's the picture there has
It's
the,
close.
the kids.
Yeah, it's close to
Yeah.
the Dr. Cervantes Neurological Center. It's right
Yeah.
close
Okay.
beside.
Yes,
Yeah.
there it is.
It's
So
in that area, and then our phone numbers, if it's in the thing, but we could give, you could call 607-1212, 1212, which is Jill's, or 604-4480, which is mine.
and just one more time, when is the first session beginning and when is the second session beginning?
The first session is July 4th to the 8th, and the second session 11th to the 15th of July.
It's 2 weeks back to back.
2 weeks back to back, 125 for the week.
Yeah.
Great.
And we are open like from after the session to enroll your kid for the August session, August through December,
Perfect.
so that you can save that space from them.
And where can they pick up the enrollment forms?
Well, they could call
Call
us
you
once
one
We
day.
can,
yeah,
we
and
can
then-
email it to
yeah.
them so that they fill it
Yeah.
up. And coordinate details,
Okay.
of how we can get their kids in.
You know, it's an opportunity for some of our children to be able to pick up the pace and get the necessary foundation that they need. And so certainly, if you're a parent out there and you know that your child could benefit from this type of service, please don't be afraid to call. Don't hesitate to give them a call and access those services.
Sure.
We
Thank
want
you
to
very much.
we want to thank you for joining us, actually.
Yes.
And, certainly, it's a service that's necessary. We need to get our education back up and going, and we need to get our children ready for the future, and that starts by building a strong foundation. So thank you for joining us
Yeah.
this morning.
And with support like what we are proposing to give,
Absolutely.
that helps the system, the educational system.
Absolutely.
All right, after the bell, here summer session begins July 4th. So if you would like to contact Jillian and
Martin.
Martin Alegria, the flyers are up. You can contact them via email and phone calls. So get your child enrolled, and thank you all so much for coming.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us.
All right, and with that, we'll take our final break and we'll stay back for wrap up. So stick